Hey everyone, so glad you're back. So we're going to talk about how to be courageous. How to be courageous is going to be one of the biggest things you're ever going to have to face in your life, because being courageous will get you so much further than anything you've ever imagined. There's my favorite quote, says that fortune favors the bold. You could even say as far as fortune favors the courageous. It really does. So we're going to talk about 6 different ways you can become courageous in your life right now, starting today. I mean, this is so valuable and so important that you learn this specific skill of being courageous, because it's going to push you so much further than you ever dreamed. You're going to achieve so many more things than you ever dreamed. And I promise you, it's going to change your life for the good. That's the best part about this. Okay. So number 1 is self-talk. I think we spend most of our lives talking ourselves out of actually being courageous and doing things that we should do. We spend our whole life talking ourselves out of things that we know we should do because it appears to be scared. It's probably not really scary at all. It just appears to be scary. We programmed ourselves in such a way to where we think things that create confrontation, things that create, resistance, it's got to be scary. You look at public speaking, people are scared to death of public speaking. It is like, oh my God. But really, what are they scared of? They're not scared of speaking because they speak every single day. Speaking is something they've been doing since they were probably 2 years old. It's a normal thing. So what they're scared of is they're afraid of what others are going to think if they mess up and fail. That's what they're scared of in almost every single case. So think about this. So your self-talk is going to be the number 1 thing you can do for yourself. That's number 1, self-talk. Self-talk. Let's start programming your mind to believe you're full of courage. So one of the big things I say to people all the time is just good posture. Just roll your shoulders back, put your chest out, and it just gives you a better feeling of courage and strength, and it makes you feel better about who you are as a person. It really makes a big difference for you. Start telling yourself that you're courageous. Write it down. I am a courageous person. I know there are affirmations. People say affirmations are weak. Some people say they're not, but I can tell you one thing. We call it creating pre-planned attitudes, pre-planned behaviors, pre-planned actions in all that we do. So we're looking at, write it down. I am a courageous person, that when I go to work today, I'll ask for what I want. When I go to work today, I'll do this. I'll do this. You start training your mind to be full of courage. And it's okay to start with where you are, because you need to be courageous, because you're missing out on so much in life because you're not. Now, there are times when you just need to use your brains when it comes to being courageous. I mean, you don't want to be stupid just to try to create a point or to make a point. Use your self-talk every single day and help you learn to become better at what you do. So number 2, success stacking. I say this all the time. Stack your successes. I want you to list out all the times in your personal life when you felt like you were courageous. You did something courageous. You did something that was scary. You did something that you didn't think you could do. Maybe it was the first time you rode a roller coaster. Maybe it was the first time you went skydiving. Maybe it was the first time you dove into a pool. Maybe it was the first time you rode a bicycle. Maybe it's the first time you kissed somebody. Maybe it's the first time you asked someone out on a date. So start writing down everything you've ever done in your life that appeared to be scary and that scared you a little bit, because what we're doing is we're going to start stacking all these successes of you being courageous. And that is going to change so much of who you are, because you're going to start looking at a pattern. I'm like, wow, I am pretty courageous. That's self-talk. Remember, we talked about that self-talk in number 1. Start reprogramming your mind to be a courageous person. So success stacking is helping you to reprogram your mind. Take the time to write down all the things. You'll be surprised at all the different things that you did and did not do. And I promise you'll be like, holy cow, this is crazy. This is great. This is amazing. I mean, really, I'm just shocked at how courageous I've been throughout my entire life. But you never took the time to think about it. That's the problem that most people have, is they never take the time to think about all the great things they have actually done. So therefore, they stay sort of stuck with where they are. All right. So number 3, let's make this fun. Do scary things. Oh yeah, scary things. Now, I've done scary things my whole life. There's some things I just haven't done, some things I have done. And especially when I was younger, I would do a lot more stupid things that were scary, from jumping off houses to climbing really high trees, doing really high up in the air, to you name it. When I was young, I would do it. Now, your values change over life. I mean, when you start having kids, you get married, your life values do tend to change. And the scarier things you probably don't do just because, you weigh the risk. It's a calculated risk. Do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Is it worth it? I mean, you start really evaluating things in a different way. So, but what I want you to write down all the things that you're scared to do that you want to do. I mean, seriously, write this down. All the things you're scared to do, but that you really want to do. I mean, maybe it's going to a haunted house. You always wanted to go to a haunted house and you've been scared your whole life. Like, oh my God, I just cannot go into a haunted house. I remember when my daughter was little, I paid her money to go into a haunted house. And to this day, she never forgot that. I paid her money to go into a haunted house, and she overcame a fear because she realized it was just all fiction. It was nothing bad. It wasn't anything hard, but it was the idea of what it could be. Now, granted, she was younger. Now, she's been in many haunted houses since then. But the point is she did something that was scary. Now, there's things that I've done. I rode some scary roller coasters, at least that appeared to be scary. It was a calculated risk. When you look at scary things, you calculate the risk. What are the odds of me dying? What are the odds of something going bad? The odds are probably very slim on 99.9% of things that you're probably scared of. I mean, things that we're scared of, 95% of the time, they never happen. Especially people who suffer with anxiety. I understand what that is. I've suffered that. I knew what that was. I suffered it for many, many, many years. I learned to overcome that. So learning to do scary things again was a big challenge because I had to learn and reprogram my mind to do different things again. So just write those things down that you're scared to do, that you want to do. And then just start asking yourself this question do I think I could do it? And then go back to your successes. You remember your success stacking number 2? Look at all the things you've already done and then say to yourself, positive self-talk. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. I can do this. Because once you do something, it becomes a lot easier. When my daughter was probably 11, we were in Hawaii in Maui and a place called Black Rock, and we were going to jump off Black Rock, and it's not real high, like probably 20 feet. And I said, hey, look, understand this. When we jump, there's no turning back, but she was scared, but she's young, she's scared. And she said, yeah, but just hold my hand. Sometimes you just need someone to hold your hand to. If you can just get someone to hold your hand and help you through that fear, it'll help you tremendously as well. And it helps you build that courage up to where you can do scary things as well. So don't be afraid to try some scary things, but just remember, you calculate the risk. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Skydiving, my daughter's been skydiving twice. I'm not going skydiving. I have no desire to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I watched my brother-in-law skydive. It was really cool. It was fun to watch, but I like it from the ground. I'm just saying. All right. Number 4, see the value in why you should do something. This is really important. If you can learn to see the value in why you should do something, it's going to give you incentive to want to actually do it and to follow through with what you thought was scary. So we always say attach a new meaning to what you're afraid of doing, and it changes how you see it. They always say, change the way you see things, and the things you see will always change. And that's what I mean here is find a new way to look at what you're scared of. Because really, this is big. When you can attach a high value to what you want to do, and you realize that the risk is so worth the reward versus the risk isn't worth the reward, find something about what it is you're scared of doing that you can find great value in. And then when you find that great value in doing that, and you see what the reward will be, and maybe that reward is just you feeling confident, feeling courageous, you feeling good about who you are. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just did that. Oh my God, I just cannot believe I did that. I mean, I know when I went parasailing for the first time, I was a little scared. It was, we were like 800 feet up in the air, and I got to be honest, it was a little spooky. My first time ever doing this. But it was really cool. It was such a cool experience. I mean, it was just extraordinary. Remember, it was a calculated risk. But what I did is as I looked back at all the little things that I'd already done before, and I was able to say, I can do this. I can do this. And then I just did it. And it was a lot of fun. Now, granted, was I a little scared? Well, sure, I was a little scared, but hey, that's okay. But I still did it. That's the best part about it, is I did it. I was willing to try something that I was afraid of doing. And I actually did it. But I remember I calculated the risk. Was it worth it? Was it not worth it? And what was the end value? So remember, try to find some high value in what you're going to do, because finding high value in what you're going to do is really going to help you propel yourself forward. That's going to make a huge difference for you. Okay. All right. Number 5, take a chance on yourself. I cannot stress to you enough how important this is. Take a chance on yourself. Just believe that you could do something. Believe that it's worth doing, and that you're worthy of what you're wanting to do, that you're so scared of, that you're worthy of that goal. You're worthy of, asking for that raise at work. You're worthy for, asking for that job. You're worthy of those things. See yourself as worthy of, and visualize yourself as worthy of that goal, what you're scared of doing. Because so many people get stuck at the starting line. They never really pass the starting because they're so afraid of whatever it is they're afraid of. But remember, write down what you're afraid of, what it is you're actually afraid of. And when you see it on paper, you're gonna be like, really? That's it? That's all I'm afraid of? Seriously? I mean, like, what an absolute joke. There's a great book I read called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I've got a lot of books on fear and courage and things like that. But that's a great book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, because the idea is when you feel that fear and you walk into that fear, you realize that fear maybe wasn't as bad as you thought. And I'm going to teach one just on the word fear. It's one I came up with the other day. I really love it. I'm just going to really share this and push this out there because I think this is really powerful, really powerful, really important. Okay, take a chance on yourself. So I'm going to share a quick story with you. Make sure you listen to this story. I know a guy who had went to a job interview. He was at a job interview with him and another guy. They were both in the same interview, applying for the same position, but they were going to hire two people. So there was two people in the job interview, one interviewer. Both applied to the same position. They're both just offered the job. He looks at the one guy and he goes, I'm going to go ahead and give you the job. How much money do you want? Straight up asked him, how much money do you want? The first thing he said, I'll take $60,000 a year. The guy goes, great, done, $60,000, you got it. The other guy looked at him, he says, well, I want $75,000. The guy goes, done, you got it. He gave him exactly what he asked for, each person. One was afraid to ask for what he really wanted because he was afraid they would say no. And the other just straight up asked for what he wanted. So one was not courageous, one was courageous. You know how they say the quote at the start of this was fortune favors the bold. One was full of courage to ask for exactly what they wanted. One was not full of courage and asked for less than what he really wanted. And then he looked back, he said, man, I wish I would have asked for that. I wish I would have asked for what I wanted. Don't be the person in your life that you get to the end of your life, you're like, I wish I would have, because I was so afraid to. You be that person who says, I can do these things. I can be courageous. I can just overcome all these fears. Now we're going to talk about that word fear in another video. We're just going to blow it up with that word fear. It's amazing. Because once you walk through this and you have the courage to do what it is you want to do, all of a sudden you find freedom. Oh yeah. Exciting, right? Okay. Take a chance on yourself. Seriously. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. Now, last one, number 6, hang around courageous people. I can't stress this to you enough. If you're not willing to hang around courageous people, you're probably never going to really go very far, because having a tribe of people that you're around who is willing to help you grow and become the best version of yourself, help push you in ways you couldn't even imagine, is going to make such a difference for you. I promise you, it's going to change your entire life. Being able to be around people who are already courageous, who are already doing the things that you want to do. If it's in business, they're already doing things you want to do. You're going to find more courage, because when you look at a pack mentality, people who are in packs, they'll do a lot more than if they're by themselves, because they feel confident, they feel courage, they feel like they can do these things. And all you're doing is you're building that muscle of courage, that when you say this, you can build that muscle of courage. And all of a sudden you can do these things on your own. Because you practice it by being with other people who are just like you in regards to what you want to accomplish. Now, these are people who are already doing what you want to do. They've already done it. They're excited about it. They're loving their life. They're living their life. It's just so important that you find value in being around other people, because that is going to change how you live your entire life. Your circle, your inner circle, your closest 5 friends, the people that you really hang out with. If they're all afraid, guess what? You're going to be probably afraid. If they're all scared of ever doing anything, if they're all worried about what other people think, if they're all gossiping, guess what? You're going to probably be a gossiper. You're probably going to be worrying. So get rid of those friends who don't bring high value to your life, and find a new tribe that's going to help push you to a whole new level. And you find that courage to just live and to be excited and to just find like the joy in your life. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Once again, my name is Eric Rios. I appreciate you watching the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it if you think it's of value. And I want you to make sure, please, by all means, do this one thing for me. Help me grow this channel. I really need your help. Thank you guys so much. And shoot me a text if you need help, 314-591-0479. And yes, that is my cell phone. Thanks so much and have a great day.